Historically, many great comics have existed in cultures around the world. However, perhaps in Japan, the popularity of manga and its impact on visual popular culture and society is greater than in any other culture. Unlike the United States, where comics are only for children or collectors, in Japan manga has a popular status that influences of all Japan's society. Readers of manga span a wide range of demographic and age groups, from preschoolers to adults. Manga's influence is evident in visual culture throughout Japan in television commercials, advertisements, billboards, and even school textbooks. One measure of manga's popularity is that it accounts for nearly 40% of all publications in Japan. In today's issue, you'll learn why manga is art, what's interesting about a manga cafe, who are mangaka and why do you only need imagination to draw manga, and why you don't need to know how to draw to become a manga artist. It's on my house studio. Let's start it. The word manga comes from the Japanese word manga, katakana, and hiragana, consisting of two kanji, man meaning himself or impromptu, and ha meaning pictures. The same term of the root of Korean word manhwa, meaning comics, and the Chinese word manhwa. In response of the varied demands and expectation of reader, the context of manga have evolved from simple to more complex stories on a variety of subjects, both fiction and non-fiction. Blockbusters, anime, and video games are often based on manga, and it is well known that anime, like Japan's video game, have spread around the world. In Japan, manga refers to all kinds of cartoons, comics, and animation. Among English speakers, manga has a stricter meaning of Japanese comics, paralleling the use of anime in Japan and beyond. The term anime-manga is used to describe comics based on animated cartoons. There is still debate about the origin of Japan's manga. It is generally agreed that manga began with shujugiga, literally humorous pictures of birds and animals, depicted by the monkaku, also called Choba Shuju. Aristocratic society was ironically portrayed in contrast to the world of the commoners through anthropomorphic caricatures of animals in 4 traditional scrolls. The term manga was originally used in printed books of hokusai manga illustration drawn by Hokusai Katsushika in the early 19th century. These hokusai manga, literally humorous pictures of hokusai's daily life, consisted of the 15 chapters and was published serially from 1814 to 1878, even after his death due to his popularity. Hokusai's manga served as an illustrated textbook of everyday life. Thus, the modern meaning of the word manga, which today is used in Japan to refer to graphic novels, is different from Hokusai's manga, which was simple caricatures. Modern Japan's manga developed under the strong influence of American pop culture, including comic books and Disney animation, after World War II. In those days, manga were only inexpensive entertainment for children, dreams that made life easier in Japan's shattered post-war society. Thus, manga began as healthy entertainment, a way for children to bolster their dreams. It gradually evolved from simple cartoons to complex stories in response to readers' expectations. What are the features of Japan's manga that differ from those of, for example, American comics? One of the main differences is that manga are depicted mostly in black and white, unlike American comics where the pages are mostly full color. Ironically, because of the limitations of black and white, the use of basic elements of manga and comics in general has developed in Japan with rich semiotic and thematic overtones. Manga is filled with semiotic things understood by readers, image shared by the mangaka and readers. At first, manga were a simple combination of pictures, words, and frame that told a simple story. As readers' expectation grew, however, manga stories evolved into graphic novels that express human drama rather than caricatures or simple comics. As a result, the use of compromission in manga became original. The first magazine for boys shonen magazine was published in 1959, and the first weekly magazine for girls Shuju Friend was published in 1963. The children who supported the mangaka market were born between 1948 and 1950. When the first weekly magazine was published, the children were finished elementary school. Before its period, children stopped reading manga after elementary school. However, this generation of children don't stop reading even after high school, finding manga more appealing than other media, such as television and movies. The number of magazines published grew in response to the diverse expectations of readers, so that in the 1960s, the age of manga readers expanded from children to adults. As a result, a variety of manga for different age and genders were created after the 1960s, touching on favorite themes and plots. One example is the development of Gekiga, visual novels, a more serious and realistic manga with a variety of fantasy and non-fiction themes, mostly in teenage male manga magazines. From that point on, topics such as sex and violence were no longer taboo in manga. In the mid-1970s, ladies' comics were published in response to female readers' demands that manga reflect their transformation from girls to women. Their manga depicted the realities and obstacles of lives and after marriage, unlike shoujo manga, which focused on the process of fighting true love. The themes in the manga reflect changes in the social and cultural conditions of Japan. This dialogue between manga and society is nowhere more evident than in the phenomenon of the amateur comics market, a type of market created in 1975 as a communication of hundreds and thousands of artists and fans to exchange ideas and distribute their manga. Thus, manga grew out of a subculture and became part of the popular culture for all Japan's society, part of a popular culture that flourished along with the development of the economy. Manga continues to influence Japan's society, a phenomenon that has spread from Japan to the rest of the world in early 21st century. Manga Cafe will become adult-only at night in Tokyo. Yahoo Japan reports that along with internet cafes and karaoke cafes, manga cafes in Tokyo will become closed to minors after 11 p.m. New law approved by the Tokyo Metropolitan Assembly on March 22 will go into effect on April 1. Establishment of this type that serve minors under 18 after 11 p.m. can be fined up to $2,812. A Manga Cafe is an hourly priced place that also offers visitors DVDs, computers, games, music, and internet access. At a Manga Cafe, 200,000 volumes of manga can be borrowed, including many rarities as well as popular new releases. More and more fans of manga refuse to buy them, enjoying their hobby only within the walls of the cafe. Another series of Japan's manga cafes separate rooms, allowing a quiet rest away from prying eyes. They can be equipped with a computer connected to the internet, a soda, and a TV set for games borrowed from the same cafe, creating the illusion of being in your own home. There are rooms for individual use as well as for couples and families. Some cafes have darts, billiards, ping pong, and other games. The room can hardly be called spacious, but they are choppier than a hotel room. Shower stalls, sales of toothbrushes, razors, and other hygiene items, and the replayed and hair dryer rentals contribute to the fact that the manga cafes is incredibly becoming a welcoming haven for people who are late for the last train and want to pass the time until morning. There are also rooms in karaoke rooms. Most modern Japan's karaoke rooms consist of many separate rooms, boxes. Each has a karaoke system with a big screen, microphone, and touch screen controls, as well as a table of sofas. Most major karaoke chains offer songs in different languages. As I said before, manga cafes and karaoke rooms in Tokyo have become inaccessible to minors after 11 p.m. If you are in Japan and you are under 18 years old, visit such places before 11 p.m. Marketers primarily classify manga by age and gender of the target's readership. In particular, books and magazines sold to boys, shonen, and girls, shoujo, have distinctive covers and most bookstores place their own different shelves. Due to across readership, consumer reaction are not limited to demographic characteristics. For example, male readers may subscribe to the series in turn for female readers, and so on. In recent years, there had been an increase in the number of manga released digitally. Web manga, as it is called in Japan, has spread in part because of imagine hosting sites where anyone can download pages for their works for free. Although manga are released digitally, almost web manga stick to the traditional black and white format, although some have never been published on physical media. Pixiu is the most popular site that publishes amateurs and professional work. It has become the most visited site for artwork in Japan. Twitter has also become a popular place for web manga, its many artists posting weekly pages to their accounts in the hope that their work will be picked up or published professionally. One of the best examples for amateur work becoming professional is One Punch Man, which was released online and then got a professional remake released digitally, and soon after that an anime adaptation. Many major prints published have also released digital magazines and websites. The web novel are published alongside the series magazine. For example, Shokakugan has two websites, Sunday Verbi and Euro Sunday, which publish weekly web manga chapters and even hold contests for mangaka. Both Sunday Webry and Euro Sunday have become some of the best web manga sites in Japan. Some of them have even released apps that teach you how to draw manga professionally. Weekly Shonen Jump magazine released Jump Paint, an app that teaches users how to create their own manga, from storyboard to digital inks. It also offers more than 120 types of pen nibs and more than 1,000 screen tones for artists to practice with. Kodansha had also used the popularity of the web manga to launch new series as well as to better distribute it officially translated Kodansha comics branded work in part because their titles are first released digitally and then published in physical form. Manga is a phenomenon that had changed Japan's and world culture. If it wasn't for the many stories written by ordinary guys, we would never have known the many triumphs by defeats of the characters we became attached to become a very beautiful written story. I think we should say thanks you for all the emotions that the manga and Japan in general have brought us. Understanding the manga phenomenon leads not only to an understanding of modern Japanese society, but also to an understanding the relationship between visual pop culture. Don't forget that this is only the first part of my video. In the future we will make 2 more videos on the history and culture of manhwa in Korean and manhwa in China. And it was Anma Hub's video. Bye.